I now give the floor to the representative of Bolivia.
Muchas gracias, señora presidenta.
Thank you very much, Madam President. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Nicolas Mladenov, the Special Coordinator for the Middle East Peace Process, and personal representative of the Secretary General. I thank him for his briefing this morning. The causes of the conflict in the Middle East are very difficult to describe due to their depth and due to their complexity, but allow me to mention a few of them. First of all, the non-compliance with commitments taken on by the powers which occupy the Middle East under the format of the mandate emanating from the Society of Nations before the Second World War, rather. And second, the application of regime change policies. Thirdly, the invasions that took place in that region without authorization by this council, nor in compliance with international law. Terrorism, of course, and the fight for natural resources. Now, what was said by King Abdullah II of Jordan in the last Arab summit, which took place in his country a few days ago, also points out one of the causes which has motivated the very tragic situation which we have seen in this part of the world. King Abdullah II said, and I'll read the quote in English,
No peace and stability in the Middle East without achieving just and comprehensive solution to the question of Palestine, the core issue of the Middle East, based on the two-state solution. De la misma manera.
Similarly, we would also like to echo the words of Pope Francis during a meeting with the diplomatic corps accredited in the Holy See. And I would also like to quote the Pope, no conflict must become a habit which one cannot get rid of. Israelis and Palestinians require peace. The entire Middle East urgently needs peace. Likewise, the Secretary General of the United Nations on the 29th of November 2016 said the following, and I quote, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is not one of the many conflicts in the region. In many ways, it is an open wound that has existed for a long time and has fueled all of the tension and conflict in the Middle East. End of quote. The plurinational state of Bolivia attends this important public debate with the urgency of having information which is reliable and first-hand information which would update us on the effective implementation on Resolution 2334. And once again, we find ourselves seeing these acts which undermine the long-sought two-state solution. A few days ago, on the 30th of March to be exact, the international community was informed of the decision by the Israeli Security Cabinet to build the first settlement in 20 years in the Hemek Shiloh zone located in the occupied West Bank. This repeated conduct on the part of Israel challenges and defies the Security Council, which in many resolutions since 1967, including Resolution 2334, approved on the 23rd of December 2016. And it is a flagrant violation of the need to put an immediate and complete end to the settlement activities in the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem. Madam President, it can seem a bit redundant that whenever in this body we talk about matters related to the situation of Palestine, I go back to the almost 50 years of non-compliance with the unanimous call of peoples to Israel to stop their expansionist and settlement activities. 50 years that the world has looked on perplexed and helpless as day after day a government decides to act in collusion with some warlords against people which only wants to exercise their human right to life and to self-determination. Madam President, the members of the United Nations must focus on the implementation of Resolution 2334. We reiterate our request that the next quarterly report have a written format and contain in detail progress in the implementation of Resolution 2334. Similarly, as we've done in the past, we reiterate the need to enrich the presentation with detailed maps of Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestinian territory. We believe that it's an unavoidable responsibility of the members of the Security Council to act without delay so that Israel would end its illegal settlement activities in occupied Palestinian territories, including East Jerusalem, refraining from any action against the Palestinian people, including the inhuman blockade of the Gaza Strip. The government of Israel must show its political will and commitment to a two-state solution. We agree with some of the colleagues in this very important meeting who have said that the two-state solution cannot and should not become the illusion of two states. It is absolutely clear that there is an occupying power and an occupied territory, and that is the big difference compared to other conflicts in the region. And that is why we have international law. And furthermore, the resolutions of the General Assembly that were adopted on this matter, the decisions of UNESCO, the advisory opinion of the International Court of Justice, and the resolutions of this very council. Bolivia, of course, supports all of the processes, all of the peace processes to resolve this matter in a political and negotiated way through dialogue. Of course, the principles of Madrid and the Peace Initiative could contribute to this objective. The plurinational state of Bolivia reaffirms its support for the self-determination of the Palestinian people and their right to have a state which is free, sovereign, and independent with pre-1967 international borders, with East Jerusalem as its capital, in accordance with the relevant resolutions of the Security Council and of the General Assembly. And it's crucial that this Council work to guarantee, not only to recognize, but to guarantee the right of peoples to peace, the right of the Palestinian people to peace, and the right of the Israeli people to peace. Thank you very much, Madam President.
I thank the representative of Bolivia.